Hello and welcome to this special show on Rajya Sabha television, wherein we bring you the technological interventions as far as India's fight against COVID-19 is concerned. And today, in this particular episode, we will talk about an app which is helping the health workers and the people of our country as well to try and ensure that they have the information whether or not they have come in contact with any COVID positive person. Now, the app is known as Aarogya Setu app. This was launched by the government of India on 2nd of April, and in almost 10 odd days, more than 3 crore people have downloaded this app on their mobile phones. Now, this particular app has several features which enables anybody who has this particular app on the mobile phone to know whether they have come in touch with a COVID positive person. Also, they can do a self-assessment of their health situation and also volunteer for any help if required at any particular stage. So let's begin the show, and let me first introduce the three guests who are with us on this particular show. We have with us the Director General of National Informatics Center, Ms. Neeta Verma. We are also joined by Professor Rajiv Dasgupta of JNU, and we also have with us Mr. Subimal Bhattacharya, the cyber technology expert. And let's begin the show with the Director General of National Informatics Center, Ms. Neeta Verma. Ms. Verma, let us first try and understand what exactly is this app that is Aarogya Setu app. What are the features it has? And in terms of the working of this particular app, how does it work? And why is it necessary that all of us should have this Aarogya Setu app installed on our mobile phones?
Aarogya Setu app is designed to help us keep safe, keep informed, and also help us combat spread of COVID-19. It is indeed an essential tool in our fight against COVID-19. App can be downloaded from Google Play Store or Apple Store. It is available in many Indian languages as well as English and Hindi. This app has essentially three components. First is it has a self-assessment component in which it gives opportunity to the user to undergo a self-assessment where a person is supposed to share his health condition, his contact history, as well as his travel history. Basis this, his status is set from green, amber to red. And he is advised whether he should simply stay, if he's in safe zone, stay at home, follow all those hand hygienes, sanitize, and all other advisories. Or if he has to get into a self-quarantine mode, or he should contact a doctor or visit the hospital. It also provides us the advisories issued from government from time to time in different languages. And these advisories are pushed to you depending on what profession you belong to. Are you a delivery person? Are you a healthcare professional? Or are you a law enforcement agency? Another very important thing, which is the topic of your talk today, is the contact tracing. How it works is that when you download this app, it essentially captures your Bluetooth data as well as GPS data. But all these data in a highly encrypted fashion is kept on your phone only. It is only when you report that you are COVID-19 positive, this data is shared with the government servers. There it is analyzed and found that which all persons you have come in contact with. And then those persons are alerted depending on the algorithm, whether what is your risk depending on your contact duration and the contact time with that person, and then advised to either go to the hospital or be in self-quarantine mode. But this data is, while it is at the phone, it is kept in encrypted fashion. And when it is stored at that time, only the Bluetooth data is stored. No names, no contact details, no phone numbers, those things are not shared into it. And on the server also, it is uses only to alert all those persons who have by mistake come in contact or unknowingly have come in contact with those COVID-19 positive patients. Because see, please understand, the challenge with this COVID-19 infection is the person himself for quite a few days be asymptomatic. He may not know that he is the carrier of COVID-19 and spreading the virus. So unknowingly, he might have come in contact with many people. And And therefore, this app basically helps all those people by alerting them that they have come in contact in the last, and that too, it picks up data only for the last 14 days, which is as per the government guidelines are concerned.
Okay. Miss Verma, I'd like to jump in here with one specific question. Now that it has been almost more than 10, 11 days since this particular app was launched, and 3 crore or more than that downloads have happened. So, do we have any data to analyze further that how this particular app is helping in terms of achieving the objectives with which this particular app was made? That is, informing people that they might have come in touch with the COVID positive cases or assessing their health situation as well. Is there a data for that as of now with us?
See, as you already know, 3.6 crore people have already downloaded this app. They are submitting their self-assessment, and basis that data is being shared on almost real-time basis with these users.
Okay, and you're pointing about how this is very important in terms of two aspects. Not only telling people whether they have come in contact with the COVID positive cases, but also the self-assessment aspect. So, how does the self-assessment aspect works here?
See, there is already, as you must have seen, there are set of questions which has been prescribed by Ministry of Health, where it basically asks what is your health condition, are you having any comorbidity condition, or have you come in contact with somebody who was COVID positive, or you have any travel history, or are you having any symptoms as of today, cough, fever, and all those. It basically asks in a very simple language, in multiple languages this app can be used. You basically share your conditions and then it advises you. Here I like to say it is very pertinent and responsibility of we citizens that we share our health condition accurately, because if we
Okay.
not share our health condition accurately, we cannot get the right advice from the app.
Okay, let me bring in Professor Dasgupta here as well from the JNU's Center for Community Health Sciences. Professor Dasgupta, if we look at the concept of contact tracing, why is it that this aspect is really, really crucial in our fight against COVID-19?
Contact tracing is a very basic principle of any communicable disease control. This assumes particular relevance for respiratory infections because it's not a waterborne infection, for example, where you can treat or manage the water source, or it's not a foodborne infection where you can ensure food safety. Also, we don't know who is infective and who isn't, and it transmits very easily through cough, sneeze, or even an aerosol. Therefore, contact tracing is very crucial if one person who is, in this case, COVID-19 positive, has come in contact with others, be it in the household or in the neighborhood or in a marketplace or in an institution. Mm-hmm. Now, classically, contact tracing is done through personal interviews by actually listing who he or she has come in contact with and reaching out to each of them. Why an app or technology-based contact tracing helps is because human memory is not infallible. I may not remember how many people or who all exactly I met in the last, let's say, 3 days or 7 days, or for that matter, if I was traveling in a public transport, who all have been in my vicinity. Obviously, I don't even know them. So the listing, which is memory-based, has limitations, and that's where the app comes in, as she explained very eloquently. Mm-hmm. It's also important to understand in which settings this app is likely to work better, and that it is not a magical solution. It still needs health worker-based or person-based interviewing and person-based contact tracing. It's merely a tool in that sense. One of the key challenges, this number of, say, X crores, is only in the aggregate. It all matters how much threshold you have achieved in a population. And particularly now that we have a lockdown situation, which may continue, let's say, for some conceivable time, plus some reasonable restrictions over conceivable time, the understanding is that it requires a minimum 20% threshold in a defined population, a defined geographic area for this to actually give the results that we are talking about or that we are foreseeing.
Okay.
The second important thing is, and we can talk about other things later, is that one would still require human interviewer-based collection of details, and you just can't control whole of this in remote, so to say, which is the model that South Korea followed. But remember, South Korea did it with a whole lot of intrusive mechanisms, including credit card tracing, including facial recognition, and so on. That's a completely different model. Here, I believe what we are trying to do is to find a good, sensible hybrid of the two.
Okay. And a sort of a bridge between the health workers and the common people, the citizens.
But
that's how it works.
Yeah, but it means that the app developers will have to keep closely working with the epidemiologists, because all apps come with glitches. All apps need to be constantly improved, and this should be no exception. And therefore, this close collaboration is very crucial.
Let's now bring in Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee. Mr. Subimal, what are your views as far as the technological aspect of this particular app is concerned, vis-a-vis the purpose for which this particular app was built?
First and foremost, I would like to really congratulate NIC for bringing out an app like this, because many issues which we have seen in this country in the last few weeks, as we are encountering this pandemic, is that a lot of people have even been trying to hide their situations. So I think even if there is a good human intent in many cases, but there are also that element that who would want to hide, and also this technology is the only way that you can catch everyone and try and ensure that from a public health point of view are able to cover the whole spectrum. Now, having said so, Vishal, I would think when you employ technology for such a large collection of information, and mind you, here there are two aspects of technology that is being used. One is the Bluetooth technology that is basically enabling you to find out who all have been in close contact around you. And two, the location, GPS-based location technology, which is actually giving the location of particular contact. So while if you see that what Apple and Google are planning to launch, that framework, they have only remained on the Bluetooth part, we have gone a step ahead, and we have actually looked at both the Bluetooth as well as the locational aspect.
Mr. Subimal, let's bring in another aspect here as well, that is data privacy, and that's a very important angle. So what are your thoughts as far as this particular app is concerned and the aspect of data privacy?
Yeah, I think she has explained it very well, that the data that is there, it is residing in the app in your device. And whatever even goes to the cloud, that also goes in a very encrypted form. But if you look at the larger policy aspect, Vishal, around data privacy in the country, mind you, we are just short of the personal data protection bill, which is still in Parliament and now going through the select committee. But if you go back and look at the current scenario, the IT Act, under the IT Act, the rules that were notified in April 2011, they very clearly say what is the sensitive personal data. And much of the data that the DG mentioned about, they fall into the sensitive personal data. Now, a collection of sensitive personal data and how do you deal with it, that has been defined. And this whole aspect that is being done by the Government of India. So Government of India, through its authorized agency, has developed an app. The collection of the data is remaining with the government, and then the privacy policy that has been very well mentioned in the app that mentions very clearly, what is the data being used for, how long can it remain. There is a 30-day provision that, if there isn't anything, that the data is purged and it goes away from your device as well as from the cloud. So I think the privacy policy becomes the fundamental point on which you have to devise whatever issues you could have around privacy. Now, at this point of time, I don't foresee that any step has been taken that is violative of the laws and rules that we have, and to the privacy clauses within the app make it very clear.
Okay, let's move on to another aspect, and let me bring Ms. Verma again here. Ms. Verma, the Prime Minister just a few days back pointed out that this particular app in the further stages of our fight against COVID-19 can also act as an e-pass for travel. When perhaps he was talking about times when the restrictions will be eased or the lockdown will be brought to a lower level. Then this particular way could be applied. This particular app could be applied for that particular purpose. How would that work? Any thoughts on that, or there might be a mechanism which would have been thought about?
Yes. Before I answer your question, let me answer the concerns of my two esteemed co-panelists. First
on data privacy, you mean to say?
And first to Professor Rajiv Das Gupta, this app is developed through one of the very unique public-private partnership, where a lot of technology professionals in the country, startups, data scientists, Government of India, as well as epidemiologists are on board to really work out to make that the right kind of advice goes. So that's what I just wanted to inform to him. Second thing, in terms of the concerns which were raised on privacy and all, two things I wanted to tell. First of all this data which is collected on app continues to remain on your app till you report to be COVID-19 positive. And on your app also, even your conditions data is kept in a highly encrypted fashion. So the best of the technology and best of the means have been adopted to make sure that we do not really, there's no concern of privacy it should come. Second thing,
and the concept of e-pass.
So concept of e-pass I am coming to. So e-pass is supposing once what is your current status? Are you in safe zone? Are you in amber zone? Or are you in red zone? That particular condition can be used to issue in pass. This is a work which is in progress. It is not yet completed that way. There's the discussions going on that. But what I understand, e-pass is basically depending on first of all, in which cluster or area you are living in, what are the restrictions or lockdown conditions there. And depending on what is your health condition as far as COVID-19 is concerned, these two put together, some kind of a model can be built through which these passes can be issued for people for facilitating their movement, which is also be necessary as we move forward.
So, Professor Dasgupta, would it be safe to say, going by what all three of you have said so far, that this particular app acts as a very important bridge between the people and the health workers of the country as far as contact tracing is concerned?
No, it doesn't replace contact tracing. It aids contact tracing. The second issue is that a lot will depend on the stage of transmission that we are in. China's experience with these color-coded passes is in a context where it had extremely high transmission. India, perhaps barring the hotspots that are emerging, these aspects is likely to have less or limited application. But even if we require all the features, let's say for in a situation like Mumbai, where all these aspects would actually come into play, a lot of it depends on how much, to what extent people are downloading it, and therefore to the extent that to which we are addressing the privacy security concerns, because ultimately, at least in India, till this point, it is voluntary. And therefore, the issue of trust is extremely crucial. If it is mandated by law, that's a different scenario. But as of now, it's voluntary. And therefore, a very transparent addressing of all these issues will lead to better downloads and therefore potentially better applications.
Mr. Subimal, your concluding comments.
No, I think as Mr. Dasgupta has mentioned, because it is voluntary, so you still have an option of going or not. But by and large, people have gone and subscribed to it. Secondly, even if you have subscribed and you don't want your location to be known, you can switch off the location aspect. So I think, by and large, nothing intrusive has been absolutely there in this whole app that has come. And I would think that it is really a good step considering the gravity of the situation and what we have gone through in the last few weeks.
So there it is. All you and me need to know about this particular app, that is the Aarogya Setu app, and the entire concept of contact tracing as far as the fight against COVID-19 is concerned. Thank you so much, all three panelists, Ms. Neeta Verma, the Director General of NIC, Professor Rajiv Dasgupta, and Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee as well, for your views on the show. And we'll come back again tomorrow with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha television, and also keep yourself safe, stay home, and follow all the guidelines given by the government agencies. Thank you.